Hi, I'm Robin, one of the directors here at Start Software, and I'm here to tell you about release 28 of Alpha Tracker, which is our system aimed primarily at asbestos and environmental consultancies. So release 28 is the spring 2018 release. Last release was in February, so we're sticking to our sort of quarterly release schedule at the moment. And there are more than 200 software updates in this release. So it's another big one with lots of changes and improvements no matter how you use Alpha Tracker. Three aspects I want to tell you about in this video, but obviously to read the detail of what's changed, take a look at Kim's release notes, which will be going live on the website over the next few days, so just keep an eye on the website for those. I'll also blog when they're published and ready. The three aspects I want to talk about in particular are performance changes. There have been a huge number of performance updates in the system, really adding a bit of sparkle to some of the screens that were a little bit slow. I want to tell you about a link to a CRM package that we've now implemented in the software. And finally, I want to talk to you about GDPR, the new General Data Protection Regulations that come into effect this week here in the UK. The performance changes first then. So there's performance changes throughout the system. You'll notice it on some of the screens that were particularly slow before. So there's one or two screens that have been a bit sluggish for a while. You should notice that performance has improved a great deal. And also your clients will benefit because we've made a number of performance improvements to the client portal, in particular where you have large numbers of sites and reports. The link to CRM next. So we have chosen to link, let me just bring myself down to the bottom here. We've chosen to link with Really Simple Systems CRM software. When we asked around our clients, we found that this was the CRM that most people were looking at. There are a number of CRM systems on the market, but Really Simple seems to be easy to use, just as its name suggests, and popular and pretty price effective as well. So we can now link to Really Simple. That means that you can use Really Simple's CRM system to track prospects, your sales pipeline, any opportunities that you've got, do mail shots, that sort of thing. And once you have somebody interested to the state that you want to create a quote for them, you can drop that information straight into Alpha Tracker. So it's enabled through some repository settings. So if you're a super user and you go into the system repository and you look for Really Simple, you'll see that there are three settings here. And if you sign up to Really Simple CRM, they'll give you the details that match your Really Simple account. There's a client ID, a secret, and there's something called an API URL. They'll tell you what they are. You plug them into Alpha Tracker, and once you've done that, you're then linked up. And what it means is, for example, on the quotation screen, if you start to type a new quote into Alpha Tracker, you've now got an import from CRM button, which will allow you to pull an opportunity straight from Really Simple and immediately create it as a quotation in Alpha Tracker. You can also do that with clients as well, so you can pull client details through. And it's a two-way link. So it's nice and easy to use. As it suggests, Really Simple is a very simple CRM. Seems to be popular with our customers. So by all means, make use of that feature. The last thing I'll tell you about is the new GDPR regs. So this is some new regulation, European-wide, that has come into effect this week in the UK. And it gives consumers, individuals, some new rights and some enhanced rights to do with how you treat their data. For example, one of the new rights that somebody has is to know what information you're storing about them and why. Okay, so a right to be informed. There's also a right to be forgotten, which means that if somebody wants you to delete their data, then you need to delete the data or tell them why you can't or won't. There's also other requirements. For example, you need a data protection officer, a named person in your organization that's responsible for your data. You also need to have some policies so that if people want to know why you're storing data, you can give them a policy document. So we've tried to make this as simple as possible in Alpha Tracker to help you. First thing to show you in the setup menu is that there's a new data protection section, and this gives your super user the ability to, for example, key in the name of your data protection officer. So here at start it's Elaine, so I can put Elaine in there. You can put the wording for how you want that to be displayed on the client portal and in your software. You can put the URL of your data protection policy document. Now, most likely you'll have that linked off your website, and your web company will be able to tell you the URL or web address of that policy document. By pasting that in here, Alpha Tracker can link to it, and your staff and customers will be able to pick it up straight from Alpha Tracker through the client portal or through the system. There's other settings here. I'll leave you to read them at your leisure. But essentially there's some new settings. Now, what does that actually do in the software? Well, let's suppose that one of your customers phones in and says, I'd like to know what the name of your data protection officer is. Well, your admin staff can bring up this screen, the normal client screen in Alpha Tracker, and look in the new data protection window there on the client screen, and that will tell them the name of the data protection officer. It'll have a link to the policy, and also you can confirm at this point whether or not the client is willing to be contacted via a number of different methods, including some notes here if you need to make notes about the customers called in to ask or has asked to be removed or whatever. So that's the first thing you can do. Secondly, what you can do is you can actually send a link to your customer which will enable them to see exactly what is known about them and to give them the opportunity to update their information live, which again is another sort of big part of the GDPR regs. Now, there's lots more to tell you about GDPR. I won't go into it in the video because it'll make the video too long. Look out for Kim's notes. Give us a call if you're not sure. But we've tried to put everything that you need in for GDPR in Release 28 to make it simple for you to manage these new onerous regs as easily as possible through the software. Hope that helps. Hope you enjoy the 200 or so features. Watch out for the summer update. There'll be one coming, I guess, towards the probably the end of the summer now. Before that, you should be starting to see our new site drawing tool coming live. And there's lots of other news that we can tell you about. Just give us a call. Keep in touch. Thanks very much.